Does anyone ever get deja vu from watching these shows? Does anyone else feel that? Because I swear on my life, every show is the exact same thing. Promo to start the show to set up the main event. Right? Then you get nothing for the rest of the show. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. The whole middle is meaningless, pointless. You could take it out of the show and nothing would change. Nothing at all would change if you took the whole middle of the show out. Then we get to the main event, which was set up at the start of the show. Usually a tag team match. Ends in a DQ. Some people come out, there's some interference, something happens, and that's how we end the show. Every single week. Every single week, they give you something at the end that's at least a bit of a talking point, or at least a little bit something, just something to take you away from the lack of effort they put into the rest of the show. If you watch any TV show, think of your top 5 favourite TV shows of all time, right? Even the ones that you don't like. Let's do that. The shows that you don't like, you think it's bad, you're not a fan, whatever it may be. At least they tell a storyline from episode to episode. At least every episode is not the exact same thing. Even the worst shows have a storyline that goes from episode to episode. Even if it's a bad storyline, at least it's a storyline. What do we have in WWE? There is nothing. You have, genuinely, think about all the wrestlers you saw on the show last night. Male, female, whatever it may be. Everyone on that show last night, from top to bottom. How many people do you actually care about? I don't mean like you like them as a person, you think they're a good wrestler. I mean actually care about what they're involved in. Actually care about what they are doing. A couple, maybe. Maximum 5 people. Think about how many wrestlers were on the show. How many do you actually care about what they're doing? Not that many at all. So you combine that, the fact that you just don't care about any of them, because they're not involved in anything fun or entertaining. Combine that with a boring show with no effort put in, no storylines, no creativity. How is this worth $30 a month? How is this worth thousands and thousands and thousands to go to a show? How is this worth 2.5 hours on a Monday, 2 hours on a Friday? It is not. It's the most bare minimum shite you could possibly put together. The most bare minimum, basic booking, easy way out booking you could possibly put together. Because Triple H does not have a creative bone in his entire body. All of you lot listening to this right now, you have more creativity in your pinky than Triple H has entirely. He doesn't have the capabilities to do this job. He's been put in that position because TKO like him and he's the only one that could have took over from Vince. But he cannot do this job. If this was anyone else, he would have been fired months and months and months ago for putting no effort in. If you put no effort into your job, you get fired. So why is Triple H exempt from that? Because TKO like him. That's why. He's not good at his job. They want him to be the Dana White of WWE. He's not going to be that because he is terrible at his job. Everything about his job, he's awful at it. He puts no effort into any of this. And he expects us to watch every week and enjoy it. Sit back and enjoy my shows. And if you don't, you're not a real fan. You're a critic. His words, not mine. What did we get last night? What did we get last night other than just the most predictable, basic booking possible? We're going to go through everything, and unfortunately, we're going to go through everything. But when I go through everything, when I am going through everything that happened last night, keep in mind and actually think, do I care about this? Does this make me care about Clash in Paris? Does this make me care about anything related to WWE? The answer, I can guarantee you now, is going to be no. We start the show with CM Punk and LA Knight. 2 people that I actually like. Right, I said, how many people do you actually care about? These 2 I do care about. So they actually cut a decent promo. These 2 should be your main eventers. These 2 should be top of the industry, right? They're that good. They make you feel something when they speak, when they are involved in something, right? But then Paul Heyman comes out and the bronze, and I'm instantly took back to reality. Oh no, here we go. We have to sit through this again. Again, I like the bronze. I like Paul Heyman. But Paul Heyman has never been more boring and irrelevant in his entire career. When Paul Heyman comes out for years, usually, most of the time, captivated when he talks, right? 2025, I couldn't care less. He puts me to sleep. It's not his fault. He's still incredible at what he does. But he's been given the task to go out there and talk about things that no one cares about. Oh, Braun Breaker's going to main event WrestleMania and Bronson Reed has shoes around his neck. And I care about Seth. And I don't like you. And I don't like you. And I've been betrayed every week. Who cares? Not me. I don't care about anything that Paul Heyman has been saying lately. I like everyone involved in this segment. But I just don't care about anything, the substance of it, the context of it, where it's going. And it's just set up a tag team match for the main event. And instantly, right there, you know, Seth's getting involved. It's going to be a DQ, something's going to happen, Seth's going to come out, and then we all thought Roman comes out because he was advertised for Clash in Paris and still is. But it just sets up a tag team match for the main event. How creative. I couldn't believe the creativity that was on show. How did Triple H come up with that idea to set up a tag team match for the main event? Whoa. Then we go into an AJ Styles and a Dragon Lee versus a Dominic and an El Grande Americano. What? I've said it multiple times now, but what on earth are we doing with El Grande Americano? What are we doing? What is this? It started off with Chad Gable doing the El Grande Americano thing because he couldn't beat the Luchadors, right? That was the whole point of it. That was the whole thing. So it doesn't work when you apply it to someone else for no reason. Just for a bit of a laugh, right? Just for a bit of funny, right? Make people laugh. Oh, that's funny. Someone else has put a mask on. Oh, someone else has put a mask on this week. But they haven't stopped to think. At any point in this, have they stopped to think, does this actually make any sense at all? No. Why would Ludwig Kaiser, someone that takes himself very seriously, he's there to win matches, right? He's there to just do his thing, go home. Takes himself very seriously. Why on earth would he put a mask on and dress up as a luchador? Why would he do that? Other than Triple H thinking, oh, that'd be quite funny. But does it make sense? No. The whole point of it was Chad Gable. He couldn't beat the luchadors. So he put a mask on. You can't just take that same thing and apply it to Ludwig Kaiser when Ludwig Kaiser has nothing to do with any of this. AJ Styles is just involved in some dumb shit constantly. He's still involved with Dominic Mysterio. Who cares? I'm not in a good mood today. I haven't had much sleep. So usually maybe I'll give them a mulligan. Right? Oh, I didn't mind this. No harm, no foul. Not today. Not today. AJ Styles does not have long left. How long does he have left? Maybe a year max. And he's involved in Dominic Mysterio still. And he's still taking pins. AJ Styles, a legend in wrestling, right? How do we make the most of his last however long in professional wrestling? How do we give him a meaningful end to his career? I know, we'll have him lose to Dominic Mysterio twice. Do you think they're going to do anything from now? Do you think, that's him done with Dominic Mysterio, now we'll go into something bigger? Absolutely not. He'll have a rematch with Dominic Mysterio. This is going nowhere. Then we get Sami Zayn versus Rusev. Now this... this genuinely... I was sat there watching this show, and this genuinely made me deep and think about life. Genuinely, hand on my heart, this was what I did. I was sitting here, right? I just watched that absolute shower of shite, and I was like, what am I doing? Then I saw Sami Zayn and Rusev go out there. And I was sat there thinking, what am I doing with my life? Life is short. Life is very short. You have to make the most of life and experience everything you want to experience, right? lying on your deathbed, right? Later years in your life when you're old, you want to have no regrets at all, right? You want to have no regrets. What am I doing with my life watching Sami Zayn versus Rusev? What am I doing with my life? And then to make things worse, right? I was deep in life. I was genuinely just thinking, what am I doing with myself right now? Where did I go wrong in life to end up in this position right now? And then to top it off, MFT come out. Now at that point, I was ready. I don't know, not just turn my TV off. I was ready to pack my bag and go experience life. I was ready to just pack a bag real quick, book a flight to anywhere in the world and just go experience life. Just go do something fun. Or just take my mind off of this. I was like, there's no way my life has led me to be sitting and watching a segment on television between Sami Zayn, Rusev and MFT. Where did I go wrong in life to end up in this position right now? I'm going to be sat on my deathbed thinking about things I regret. This is going to be one of them. You have Sami Zayn versus Rusev. Two people I couldn't care less about. I like Sami Zayn. Couldn't care less about this underdog gimmick in 2025. We're supposed to invest in a Sami Zayn underdog gimmick in 2025. We've been doing this for 10 plus years. When does it end? Sami Zayn's the underdog still. Who cares? All leading to a potential title reign. If Sami Zayn ends up as champion, I'm not watching professional wrestling ever again. I'm deleting this channel. I am not putting myself through another millisecond of anything to do with professional wrestling if Sami Zayn ends up as champion. I cannot do it. I cannot do it unless he goes through a whole revamp, a whole character change, everything different about him, whole new look, everything. Maybe. But this current Sami Zayn would make me genuinely just, I don't know. It would be worse than a Jinder Mahal title reign. And I'm not exaggerating. It would make me stop watching. And then MFT come out and we're still doing Sami Zayn MFT. Like, oh my God, I don't want to talk. I'm done. I'm done with that. I don't want to talk about it. We had enough of them on SmackDown. Now we have to get them on Raw. And you know what? The dumbest part of all of this, Michael Cole on commentary said, oh, it's SmackDown. What are MFT doing here? As if Sami Zayn, a Raw superstar, a Raw wrestler, wasn't just on SmackDown a couple of nights ago. Why are we all of a sudden pretending there's a brand split? Because after the match, they're getting kicked out of the arena. It's SmackDown, you're not allowed to be here. There is not a brand split. Sami Zayn was on SmackDown. Why was he not getting kicked out? Do we not stop to think, does any of this actually make sense? Clearly not. We get Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez. Yeah, probably best part of the show, potentially. Which isn't saying much, because it was a decent match, but a very sloppy ending. It was just a decent match, very sloppy ending, awkward ending. Roxanne rolls up Io because of interference from Asuka and Kairi Sane. Because why book Asuka to be a top woman in that company, right? Why give Asuka a push when she can just be a sidekick, a lackey to Io Sky? Then we get Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupree. Moving on. We get the main event. We get Seth. No, whoa. What do we get? We get CM Punk, CM Punk and LA Knight versus the Bronze. Riveting television. Riveting. And this all ends in, we all knew it was going to end, DQ. Easy booking, easy way out. Triple H doesn't have to put any thought into it. All he has to do is sit there and go, who do we have win this match? Neither can lose it, so I know what we'll do. We'll just have it end in a DQ because that doesn't require any effort or a thought or creativity. Jesus Christ. I don't want to sit and talk about this. It was bad enough watching it. Seth comes out. Now, we all thought Roman would come out, right? That's what we all thought this was setting up. A 6-man tag. Roman and Seth added in. Which would have been horrible because we've already seen the tag match. You can't add Roman and Seth in and all of a sudden it's a brand new match. It's the same thing. But it was even worse than that. Jey Uso comes out. Jey Uso comes out to set up a fatal 4-way. Seth Rollins, CM Punk, LA Knight, Jey Uso. Fatal 4-way. So that means we're getting Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed because he took his shoes. He took his shoes. Wow. Roman Reigns, top of the industry, tribal chief. Champion for 1,000 and God knows what many days. Right? That title meant everything to him. If he wasn't champion, he said he was going to go away. That title meant everything to him. Head of the table, tribal chief. Since he lost it, he's gone nowhere near a single title. He hasn't sniffed a title since he lost it. Cody's title, Seth's title. He hasn't sniffed it. How does it make sense that Roman Reigns, who is on top of the entire industry the entire time for 4 years, he was telling us that that title means everything to him. That title is everything to him and his family, right? That title is the pinnacle of his life. Like, it means the world to him. So how does it make sense that he wouldn't even sniff it? He loses it and then he's just like, oh yeah, never mind. I don't want it back anyway. I don't want it back. Yeah, I'm going to have a match at WrestleMania, but not for the title. No. And then I'm going to come back for a tag team match. Yeah, I'm going to come back for a tag team match. And then I'm going to have a match with Bronson Reed because he took my shoes. Triple H has found a way to make Roman Reigns the biggest name in the industry for 4+ years. The entire business revolved around him. Revolved around the tribal chief, head of the table, Roman Reigns. Triple H has found a way to make him feel not significant. Roman Reigns feels insignificant. He had a tag team match at SummerSlam, with nothing on the line, no reason really. And then a match with Bronson Reed. So the fatal 4-way. Okay. Yeah, sure. As you can tell, my energy has gone through this video because I can't with this show. Like, I just can't. Like, it's just, it's so it's so boring. It's so boring. Genuinely. If you didn't watch the show, I am jealous of you. Another stupid thing. The fans are booing. Right, so Seth Rollins just screwed CM Punk, right? Screwed CM Punk. Everyone loves CM Punk. Probably the most over guy on the roster, apart John Cena, right? CM Punk is up there. And he was extremely over last night. The crowd were loving their CM Punk, right? Loving him. Got the most cheers of the night, right? The crowd loved CM Punk. Seth Rollins comes out, who just screwed him at SummerSlam, right? Took his title, and now he's beating him up. Stomps him. Stomps LA Knight, who they also love. Stomps Jey Uso, who they also love. His music plays, and they're there singing his song. They're there singing his song. He screwed someone that you love at SummerSlam. He's just stomped him again, and LA Knight, and Jey Uso, and then you're there singing his song. Why have they not changed this guy's theme song? He's a heel. That was Raw. That was Raw. That was a painful watch. Now I'm going to try and go about my day and just forget that ever happened. Oh my God.